What was supposed to be a night of celebration turned into disaster after four friends who were all drunk left the bar in the city without a designated driver. Designate a driver. Don't drink and drive.
This is your News Source Evening Bulletin for today, Monday, the 2nd day of September in the year 2024. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting, and here's what we're tracking tonight. An operation led by the Customs Anti-Narcotics Unit with support of the Special Forces of the Guyana Defense Force and the U.S. Drug Enforcement Agency unearthed a massive cocaine find near an abandoned airstrip in Region 1. The operation began on Saturday as KANU and the GDF Special Forces carried out an operation at Matthews Ridge in the Region 1 area, which led to the discovery of an illegal airstrip. In a statement, KANU said a search of the area surrounding the airstrip resulted in the unearthing of 4.4 tons of cocaine, which carries a street value of more than $200 million. Head of KANU, James Singh.
This operation is one of many that we would have conducted over the last 5 months with the Guyana Defense Force, identifying illegal airstrips within the country, monitoring them. In this case, we were lucky in the sense that we were able to strike at the right time, whereby we were able to seize the drugs before they were transshipped to another further location. I will not get into details regarding who was arrested, where it was going, because obviously you'd recognize that this is an ongoing investigation. As you can see, this airstrip, by any normal nature, is not one that has been gazetted by the government. So this was built with a plan to accommodate small aircraft, bringing several kilos of cocaine.
The cocaine was found buried on the ground in bunker-type pits. KANU said the operation was triggered by reports of illegal flights coming into Guyana and landing at the secluded airstrip. The U.S. Drug Enforcement Agency and other international partners offered additional intelligence information.
And this seizure here behind us is probably one of the biggest in Guyana and probably one of the biggest in the region. As you can see, the packaging, the way it's packaged is made to be float. They go on boats. And what I can tell you is most of these drugs go to Europe on board vessels.
The Customs Anti-Narcotics Unit said the seizure highlights the commitment of the unit and the government to combating the narcotics trade in Guyana and collaborating with international partners. Head of National Intelligence, Colonel Sheldon Howell of the Guyana Defense Force, spoke about the role of the Special Forces in the operation.
This seizure is indicative of months and years of relationship building, collaboration, and intelligence sharing among all the agencies responsible for drug trafficking, illicit trafficking. You have KANU is always the lead agency. The Drug Enforcement Agency of the United States is one of our biggest partners. And of course, the Guyana Defense Force is one of the biggest supporting roles.
The security forces remained in the area overnight, and this morning the Customs Anti-Narcotics Unit destroyed more than 4 tons of cocaine that was found buried near the illegal airstrip. Agents from KANU took samples of the cocaine for investigation and prosecution purposes and destroyed the rest. A number of persons in the area have been questioned about the cocaine and the movement of illegal aircraft in the area. The illegal airstrip was found covered by construction plastic to make it difficult to spot from the air. More news coming up in just a moment.
so much more than just four walls, floors, and ceilings. It's a lifetime of great memories and stories. Come talk to us and start your journey home today.
Republic Bank. We're the one for you.
Are you ready to elevate your career with a world-class education from the comfort of your home? The University of Excellence Management and Business, UEMB, Guyana's premier accredited and recognized tertiary institution, invites you to join one or more of our comprehensive 145-degree programs. Registration is now open for our next intake on September 9 and every 2 months thereafter. Enroll now and secure a 50% scholarship. Choose from an ABA, BBA, MBA, MPM, EMBA, EMPM, and LLM degrees, available in 14 specializations. Whether you hold an undergraduate degree, a diploma, or relevant professional qualifications, apply. We are an accredited degree-granting tertiary institution in Guyana. Our programs are also equivalent to a USA Regional Accredited degree. Submit your completed application form, proof of entrance qualification, and any form of ID. For more details, visit our administrative office in the Critchlow Labour College, front building, Wolford Avenue, or call 225-1395, 225-1397-9, 618-3434, and 681-3434. Progressing to a degree is as easy as ABC with UEMB. Deal with the best and forget the rest.
For the best and most affordable way to ship to Guyana, ship with Fist Freight. Sign up and take advantage of our business accounts, consolidation, a login portal to view your shipments, and if you shop on Amazon, we'll help you get the taxes you pay on Amazon refunded. That's money back in your pocket. We love bringing you savings. Sign up today and get started for free. Pick up locations in Berbice and in Georgetown.
On the heels of that massive 4.4-ton cocaine find at Matthews Ridge in Region 1, Guyana's Minister of Home Affairs, Robeson Ben, has issued a stern warning to drug pushers and drug traffickers.
We will stay on this. We want to warn those who are engaged in it to desist, because we will be coming after them. We want to advise people who in the areas, in the environment out here, may be aware that things are happening but that don't want to say it, but they need to say it to save our country, to improve our security, to save our societies in respect of this drug fight.
Minister Ben was at the scene of an operation close to an illegal airstrip at Matthews Ridge, where the large amount of cocaine was discovered buried. The cocaine carries a street value of more than $200 million. Investigations are ongoing into that discovery. The operation, as we reported earlier, was led by the Customs Anti-Narcotics Unit, with support from other agencies. The Home Affairs Minister said residents in far-flung communities like Matthews Ridge need to speak out and contact the authorities when they notice illegal activities taking place in their communities, including the construction of illegal airstrips.
We want to advise people who in the areas, in the environment out here, may be aware that things are happening but that don't want to say it, but they need to say it to save our country, to improve our security, to save our societies in respect of this drug fight.
The Home Affairs Minister noted that drug trafficking is linked to other transnational crimes that could impact communities and the country. He said it is important for support to be offered to the agencies leading the fight against the narco trade.
We, of course, buoyed by this success, will be doing everything we can to push our efforts to interdict and to prevent drugs being smuggled over, on, and through our maritime space too.
The minister said Guyana will continue the fight against drug trafficking, although it might not have all of the required resources for that fight. The government has been increasing the budgetary allocations to the security forces over the years. The Customs Anti-Narcotics Unit has been on the forefront of the drug fight and has been working along with the police, the Guyana Defense Force, and its international partners on intelligence gathering and other drug fighting efforts. Let's tell you now that the 46th Conference of the Caribbean, the Americas, and the Atlantic Regions Commonwealth Parliamentary Association got underway this morning at the Umana, Guyana, with a call for more inclusive and robust parliamentary work across the region. Secretary General of the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association, Stephen Twigg, said the conference presents an opportunity for parliaments in the region to discuss a number of issues that currently confront the region, ranging from sustainable development, peace and security, to climate change and artificial intelligence.
All of this reinforces the importance of strong and effective multilateral institutions, be they global like the UN and the Commonwealth, or be they at a regional level. And it also strengthens in particular the importance of celebrating our shared values as set out in the Commonwealth Charter, including those commitments to the rule of law, human rights and inclusive political leadership.
An opposition member of Parliament, Ganesh Mahipal, who represented the opposition leader Aubrey Norton at the conference, said parliaments must strive to foster a culture of honesty and integrity. He said parliaments are quickly becoming a battleground for partisan conflicts instead of constructive criticism and meaningful debates. And President Irfan Ali, who also delivered remarks at the opening of the event, said the foremost challenge in protecting parliamentary democracy is to ensure respect for free and fair elections, noting that it is the very basis of representative governments and parliaments.
To safeguard democracy, we must first ensure that our electoral processes are transparent, inclusive, and reflective of the will of the people. This means not only conducting free and fair elections, but also creating an environment where all citizens can participate fully and equally in this process.
Equally important, the President said, is the protection of constitutional rights, including the fundamental human rights for safeguarding democratic norms and good governance. The regional conference has brought together parliamentarians and parliamentary clerks from jurisdictions across the region for discussions on the theme Democracy, Challenges Facing Modern Parliaments. The conference concludes this coming Saturday. Finance matters to report now, fueled by a strong performing oil and gas sector, which has seen increased production and earnings. Guyana's economy grew by an estimated 49.7% in the first half of this year, according to the mid-year report from the Ministry of Finance. The report noted that the performance in the non-oil sector has also been good, with growth in the non-oil sector estimated to be around 12.6% in the first half of this year. The Ministry of Finance said the overall outlook for this year remains positive, as strong performance in other sectors will maintain the non-oil growth expectation. The overall growth for 2024 is now projected to be around 42.3%, with non-oil growth to be around 11.8%. The mid-year report has estimated growth in the oil and gas industry between January and June to be 67.1%. At the end of June, total crude oil production stood at 113.5 million barrels, compared with 68.7 million barrels for the same period in 2023. By June of this year, oil production increased to 624,000 barrels of oil per day. The report found that bauxite production fell by 20% in the first half of this year, and gold production also fell, but by 10.3%. However, both sectors are predicted to recover by the end of the year. In the agriculture sector, rice production saw growth of more than 17%, while the sugar industry saw a decline of 60.4%. The shortfall in sugar production is being blamed on the impact of dry weather conditions over a prolonged period. Still, the Finance Ministry is hoping for a rebound in production during the second half of this year. Other agriculture sectors, including fisheries and livestock, saw increased production, and the manufacturing sector also saw increased growth. In terms of the rise in the cost of living, the report noted that in the first half of this year, the Consumer Price Index saw an increase by 1.6%. The inflation rate is expected to be around 4% by the end of the year. Government expenditure increased by more than 30% in the first half of 2024 when compared to the same period last year.
so much more than just four walls, floors, and ceilings. It's a lifetime of great memories and stories. Come talk to us and start your journey home today.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Bust the flavors. We're full of flavors. Bust the flavors, that my crave for. We're full of flavors. Tell your neighbors about the bust the flavors. Grab a bust the flavors. Yeah, thirst buster. Grab a buster. Bust the flavor, taste the savor. Bust the flavors. Bust the flavors.
Let's tell you now that the 2025 edition of the Guyana Energy Conference and Supply Chain Expo was launched this morning with a plan to present Guyana as more than just an oil and gas country, but rather as a country that can facilitate growth in a number of other industries. Speaking at the launch, the Chief Executive Officer of the Energy Conference and Supply Chain Expo, Kiana Wilberg, explained that the conference seeks to lead critical discussions on issues related to the oil and gas sector and the related industries. She said attention will also be paid to sustainability in the sector. And Ms. Wilberg also explained that next year's event will incorporate multiple discussion sessions taking place at the same time and a push to get more young people involved in the conversations surrounding energy. The ExxonMobil Guyana company has returned as the title sponsor of the event. The CEO of ExxonMobil Guyana, Alastair Rutledge, said his company is pleased to continue supporting the conference and expo, since it brings together multiple stakeholders in one place to have real, frank discussions on various issues of importance in the oil and gas sector and supply chain management and support. Meanwhile, Guyana's Minister of Natural Resources Vikram Bharat, in offering best wishes to the organizers of the conference and expo and promising the government's continued support, highlighted the development of the oil and gas sector over the past few years in Guyana and the impact it continues to have not only on the country's development but on the development of many local businesses. Next year's Energy Conference and Supply Chain Expo is expected to attract more than 7,000 delegates from across the world. The 4-day event opens on the 18th of February. More than 100 companies have already signed up for the expo. Citizens Bank Guyana officially opened the doors to its new Mandela Avenue branch today. The branch was constructed to the tune of $1.8 billion, and according to its managing director, Ethan Chester, the opening of the new branch not only signals confidence in the country's economy, but the bank's commitment to improving the quality of services being offered to customers. Chester said the new branch has replaced the Thirst Park location, which outgrew its capacity.
The new Mandela branch office comes at an appropriate time and is an achievement that ensured from the strategic plan of turning the bank into one of Guyana's premier financial services providers. Additionally, it certainly fulfills our sincere need and desire to provide our services in an environment that reflects the value the bank places on its staff customers, and other stakeholders.
According to Chester, all transactions which are conducted at the bank's main office, including night deposits, will also be offered at the new Mandela location to make it easier for the bank's customers. The new 3-story facility will also feature several new amenities.
Our new Mandela offices is the quintessence of modernity, and as we continue to raise the bar where corporate infrastructure is concerned, all Guyanese can be proud of this modern and impressive structure, and this investment is ample testimony to our long-standing and dedicated commitment to contribute to the overall development of Guyana.
Meanwhile, President Irfaan Ali said the opening of the new branch is a further demonstration of the soundness of the country's banking sector, which is driven by policies of his administration.
Since we assumed office in 2020, we continued with reforms to the financial services sector to ensure this important sector is well regulated and stable. Coupled with sound macroeconomic policies, we have seen double-digit growth in credit to the private sector. Credit to the private sector increased by more than 44% since 2020.
The president also credited Citizens Bank for the role it continues to play in the country's economy in financing the private sector for national development. Citizens Bank, which was incorporated in 1993, is owned, managed, and staffed by Guyanese. The bank has a number of branches across the country. Banks DIH Limited has a majority stake in the bank. Guyana observes Amerindian Heritage Month throughout this month of September, and President Irfaan Ali has promised to make more resources available to indigenous communities in an effort to bridge the development gap between the hinterland and the coastland. Last evening, the Ministry of Amerindian Affairs hosted an Amerindian cultural extravaganza at the National Park to usher in the Amerindian Heritage Month celebrations. At the event, the president acknowledged that while work is being done to improve the lives and communities of the country's indigenous people, it might not be happening at a fast enough rate.
And it is necessary for us to understand that when it comes to our indigenous brothers and sisters, there is indeed a greater gap that must be bridged. And that is why, per capita, we have to invest more and more so that that gap can be bridged faster and faster. And over the years, we have been doing just this. From 2020 to now, we have invested almost $60 billion in our Amerindian villages all across this country.
President Ali also noted that the government has sought to improve access to health and education in the indigenous communities, while ensuring more opportunities exist for the people of those communities.
We, here in Guyana, we are doing an outstanding job in shaping the narrative, in ensuring that by our work, by our example, by our dedication, by our policies and principle, we are honoring to the greatest degree. There is no other country that can point to the type of reforms and investment we have made in honoring our indigenous people and our Amerindians.
And he said his government will continue to expand opportunities through ecotourism for indigenous communities as a means to boost village economies.
Raise the bar. We have allowed them to become bold in their thinking. We have allowed them to become imaginative. And today, they are taking their future in their own hands. And they're investing. They are doing the hard work. And they are ensuring that their communities are becoming vibrant once more.
The president assured that his government will continue to support the indigenous communities across the country to ensure that indigenous people reach their full potential.
Look at the breathtaking beauty of the Essequibo. From its pristine rivers to its abundant resources, it's a treasure that belongs to Guyana, and we ask Venezuela to respect the rule of international law.
Our commitment to this land is not just about ownership. It's about preserving its beauty and resources for our people and future generations.
The controversy between Guyana and Venezuela was settled internationally as full, perfect, and final in 1899. Essequibo belongs to Guyana.
Win one of 10 great prizes in the Mobile Dip and Win promotion. Win a motorcycle, TVs, shopping sprees, or free mobile lubricant. Just buy any mobile lubricant, collect your entry form, complete it, and drop it into boxes provided at leading stores. Yes, buy any mobile lubricant and have a chance to win great prizes. Promotion ends October 2, 2024. Mobile lubricant, proven performance for your engine.
What was supposed to be a night of celebration turned into disaster after 4 friends who were all drunk left the bar in the city without a designated driver. Designate a driver. Don't drink and drive.
Guyana's economy is rapidly transforming, and we're all part of it. Guyoil is at the forefront of this development by providing reliable and efficient energy and supporting community development from the very core. 100% of Guyoil's profit goes back to building schools, roads, and other important infrastructure that connects our cities and towns, providing fuel to domestic, marine, industrial, and aerial transportation. Guyoil has now repositioned itself as a market leader in the petroleum industry, building a better future for all of us.
Across the region tonight, the U.S. has seized an aircraft used by Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro and has flown the aircraft from the Dominican Republic to Florida after determining that its purchase violated U.S. sanctions. The U.S. Justice Department made the announcement today. The seizure of the aircraft came amid continuing pressure on Maduro at home and abroad over a contested July 28 election that he claimed to have won, while the opposition said its vote tallies showed its candidate to have soundly defeated Maduro. Maduro, his associates, and the OPEC member states' vital oil sector are under heavy U.S. sanctions, and his handling of the election has raised the prospects that further measures could be imposed. U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland said in a statement that the aircraft was illegally purchased for $13 million through a shell company and smuggled out of the U.S. for use by Nicolas Maduro. The seizure, the U.S. official said, sends a clear message. Aircraft illegally acquired from the U.S. for the benefit of sanctioned Venezuelan officials cannot just fly off into the sunset. A 5-member panel of Brazil's Supreme Court unanimously voted today to uphold the High Court's ruling to shut down social media giant X in the country for not complying with local norms. The justices sided with the lower court, with some of them saying, however, that a suspension could be reversed if the platform complies with previous court rulings. X was taken down in Brazil, one of its largest markets, in the early hours of Saturday, following a decision by the High Court after the platform missed a court-imposed deadline to name a legal representative in Brazil, as required by Brazilian law. And finally tonight, international news. U.S. President Joe Biden has said Benjamin Netanyahu, the Israeli Prime Minister, is not doing enough to secure a hostage deal and cease fire with Hamas, amid reports suggesting a new proposal would be sent to the Israeli Prime Minister as final. The U.S. President and Vice President Kamala Harris met negotiators in the Situation Room to hammer out a proposal as protests engulfed Israel today over the weekend deaths of 6 hostages in Gaza. Asked whether Mr. Netanyahu was doing enough, Mr. Biden said no. He added that the U.S. would not give up and would push as hard as they can for a deal. U.S. officials have categorized the latest proposal as a take-it-or-leave-it deal, the Washington Post has reported. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting and encouraging you to have a safe and enjoyable night.